Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Don't go away. I have a young man all the way from the nation of Israel, born and raised. Enrico will be with us, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have a guest all the way from Little Rock. Actually, you're kind of from Italy, sort of from Israel, and that is Enrico Ravenna. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it.
Enrico? This is my brother from another mother. And I think this is your third time to be on the show, but as I said, a lot of people don't watch the show every week, and so maybe they've never met you. So tell me a little bit about your history. I believe you told me you were born in?
Israel.
In Israel. Are you Jewish?
I am.
So you were born in Israel to an Italian family?
Yep.
All right, explain to me, this Protestant fella, how is an Italian family Jewish?
So
That's a trick question, really.
You know, I wish it was. It really isn't, because...
So Jews are not just people born in Israel. There's Jewish, the descendants of Abram or Abraham from all over the world.
Right.
All right. So tell me about that. Tell me your journey.
So I am a grandchild of Holocaust survivors. Right, from Italy, that were able to survive and flee the Nazis.
About what year would have that been? 43, 44?
Well, 45, really. Yeah. 45, because they were still in Italy all the way through the end of the war.
Yeah.
So, and then they stowed away on a ship and went to Israel. And
I understand you have an affinity with people like me, because there was a Catholic priest that helped your grandparents flee the Nazi regime.
Right. So really the only reason I even exist is thanks to the Christian community. So a Catholic priest got my family fake documents to say that they were Christian, and that's the only way how they were able to navigate through the hostility, through the persecution, and eventually survive.
Yeah.
Not all of them survived. We did lose 34 members of our family in the camps.
Yeah.
So, but those of them who were able to go to Israel were able to fight for Israel, right?
All right, I'm going to ask you a real deep, I don't know if it's a theological question or a social type question, but there are those who say the Jews are not supposed to be in Palestine. I just watched a movie the other day called The Exodus. Are you familiar with that movie with Paul Newman, an actor from years ago? And it was about when the Jews were endeavoring to return home, and the Arabs and some of those in that community that had been there because the Israelites had been displaced for so many years. So what about the people who say the Jewish community doesn't have a right to live in Israel? What's the status on that? That's a deep question.
Well, I mean, I'm asked that question, and often I just put the question right back at them and say, then where should they be?
Yeah.
Right? Because they clearly can't be in Europe. They clearly can't be anywhere else in the world without being persecuted. So, biblically, historically, we are from that land.
Yeah.
Right? So I think in that sense...
Where did the promise from the land come from?
God. It is...
Genesis chapter 12.
Yeah, it's God. And at the end of the day, I say it, you know, Israel is the greatest story of decolonization, right? Of people going back to their ancestral homeland, back to their promised land, back to where they're from. And the only reason why today there are Italian Jews and German Jews and Austrian Jews and Ethiopian Jews is because Jews were persecuted and expelled out of their homeland. And they were forced to live outside of that land for so many centuries, millennia. So today, you know, modern state of Israel is truly remarkable in that sense, because the only way you can explain the existence of the state of Israel right now is God. It's divine.
Yeah.
Because on paper, it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
The odds were constantly stacked against us, and somehow we prevailed. And somehow we didn't just prevail, we didn't just survive. But when you think about Israel as it is today, we thrived, right? We innovate. We hold the most Nobel Prizes. Most technologies that everyone around the world uses today came from Israel. We share technology, information, any kind of system that helps humanity and helps the world. And to me, if that is not divine, if that is not godly, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, if you gave me, we'll just say you gave me 10 acres of land, and for whatever reason, let's say I had some neighbors that weren't fond of me and they ran me off my land, but I own the land. Wouldn't it be my land tomorrow, next week, next year? Because I have the deed to it. Now, I understand legally, if you take care of somebody else's land for 7 years in America, that land technically can be claimed by you. But this land called Israel was given to Abraham and his descendants thousands of years ago. And then due to whatever reasons, they were dispersed throughout the whole world. Mm-hmm. And God then said prophetically, I'm going to bring them all home. And that's what we're talking about. That's your heritage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're home. And as someone who is Jewish, who is Israeli, who's an American, right? I'm an American now, I'm an Italian. I have 3 passports. You can probably imagine it gets pretty confusing at airports. Yeah. International airports get pretty confusing. Yeah. I can say that I can be Jewish outside of Israel, but I cannot be Jewish without Israel.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It is, and it is truer now than ever.
All right, let me ask you another question. I got 1:20. We may have to come back. What's the difference between Jewish and being Jewish? A religion called Judaism and being Jewish. Is it possible to be a Jew and not be active in the religious aspect?
Right. I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish because Judaism is a lot of things. It's not just a religion. It's a peoplehood.
Yeah.
Right. It's a story of a people. So in that sense, I am very much Jewish. Also, you can trace my bloodline all the way back to the tribe of Judah.
That's cool.
So I am from those people. I belong to those people. They are my people. I am part of them. And I am very much Jewish. Now, as far as the religious aspect goes, I'm not very much an observant Jew, right? I have my faith. I have my relationship with God. It's almost like if you ask what is Judaism as a religion, I would say it's a personal relationship with God, right? And in that sense, I very much have that. Yeah. But as far as the religious rituals, all that, I'm less involved, right? I'm less.
So there's many aspects of being the Jewish faith.
Right.
But you're still Jewish, kind of like me, or like many people who don't go to church, but they call themselves Christians, kind of similar in that regard. Hey, we're going to get deeper here in just a moment, so don't go away. We'll be right back with Enrico.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest, all the way, sort of, kinda, originated from Israel, heritage from Italy, but actually lives here in Arkansas. Enrico, you're actually something in regard to the Jewish community in the state of Arkansas. Can you tell me what that is and what the community is?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the executive director of the Jewish Federation of Arkansas. And what federations or what Jewish federations do, there are 141 of them in North America. And they kind of lead, set the vision for the Jewish communities wherever it is they are. And
I'm visualizing kind of a structure. You got your federations locally throughout the states, and then there's maybe a hierarchy or a structure to the National Jewish Federation of some way? Help me out a little bit.
So there is the umbrella organization. It's called the Jewish Federations of North America. Their headquarters are in New York. And then there are the 141 federations I was talking about. Most of them are local. They're local to a metropolitan area. So the Atlanta Jewish Federation, the Miami Jewish Federation, right? Memphis, right next to us, our neighbors. There are 3 statewide federations. We are one of them. It's Arkansas, Nevada, and Utah.
And so the Arkansas Jewish Federation that you are, what is your title?
I'm the executive director. So I lead the federation.
Is that just for the state of Arkansas?
It's for the state of Arkansas, but it also means that I represent the Jewish people of Arkansas in national conversations, in national conferences. I'm the one that then goes to those conferences, meetings, national gatherings of Jewish leaders from all over the country and brings back the insight, right? I go represent us, say, hey, this is what's happening in Arkansas. This is how we can navigate it. This is how we can, or should, right? This should be our strategy. My goal is to never operate in a silo. I say no strategy or direction or plan can survive in isolation.
So you're operating a little bit kind of out of the box. You're talking about a silo. You're really working more horizontal, connecting. You're very involved in many ways, not just with the Jewish Federation, but also with the Christian community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
100%. It's a big part of what I do. By the way, you said something there, I think outside of the box, or I operate outside of the box. You know, I'll go as far as to say that I threw the box away. I don't have a box. I'm kind of, and I think it's this community that taught me that, right? To really not just think outside the box, to just take the box, throw it out the window and say, this is reality and this is what we're facing. And my goal is to strengthen our bond with our Christian brothers and sisters, because the way I see it is simple. And I think I've told you this in the past, I'll say it again, time and time again. We are 2 siblings with the same father.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't mean we always get along. It doesn't mean we're always, sometimes we butt heads.
Yeah.
But we love each other, and we should strengthen our bond and our relationship, and we should focus on our strengths.
Yeah.
We should focus on our commonalities, on our shared values. And I wholeheartedly refuse to focus on the things that divide us.
Yeah.
Because that is not going to be conducive to anything that we want to do. And I also just, on a personal level, I don't think that's why God brought me here to Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly the opposite. He brought me here so I can bring us together, so I can connect. We talked about connection.
Yeah. The enemy really wants us to internalize and close in. The world system even wants the church to stay within our 4 walls. And then they use this fallacy of separation of church and state to convince the uninformed to stay within the 4 walls. Mm-hmm. The whole purpose of why God created Adam was to take dominion in the earth, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and take dominion.
Right.
Well, why do you need to take dominion? Because there's adversaries, there's outside forces that want to divide us. And the adversary knows if he can keep us divided, he can keep us weaker. One will put 1,000 to flight, 2 will put 10,000 to flight. When we come together, in spite of our differences, something supernatural happens. God shows up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a big, big, big part of my vision here, right? How to create those really deep and meaningful relationships that then in return make us stronger, When I say us, I mean all of us.
Yeah.
I don't just mean the Jewish community, and I don't just mean the Christian community. I mean us, our community. When I say my community, the Christian community is my community.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Jewish community is my community, right? And the idea is that there is safety in familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
and a great opportunity in the pursuit of it, right? When you pursue that familiarity, like when we have our Christian Jewish youth groups, when we have our Christian Jewish security councils, when we share and work together on our shared vision and values, like you said, something incredible happens. And I'll be the first one to say, together is the only way forward.
Well, somewhere in the Bible, in that New Testament, there's this book called the Book of Acts, and the people, these Jewish people, did I mention they were Jewish? They were gathered in an upper room, and they were in one place in one accord. And because they were in one place in one accord, with one purpose, God showed up. And that's what God does. Satan loves to divide. Mm-hmm. God shows up where there's unity. And what is it in the Jewish community here in Arkansas that the Jewish community needs from us who profess to be of this wild olive branch that's been grafted in? You got a minute and 20 seconds. Well, that's a tough one, isn't it?
We want your friendship, your allyship. We want us to be together. Because together we can achieve incredible things. And we're seeing it, by the way. We're seeing it. It's been, I've been in Arkansas less than 8 months now, right?
That's all?
That's all. That's it.
Gosh.
I can't even believe it sometimes. And when I think of all of the incredible things that we were able to develop and build over the last 8 months, I am incredibly grateful. I am grateful for the opportunity, but I'm also grateful for the responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm. Because with the responsibility, what you said off camera?
There's a great opportunity. Well, okay, when there is an opportunity, there is a responsibility. When I see something that could happen, it tells me that we have to make it happen. Mm-hmm. There is a responsibility, our shared responsibility, that we have to see it through and we have to make it happen.
Yeah, when it comes to serving God, that word responsibility, just think of it like this: response, mm-hmm. ability. You can respond and not do anything with it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people respond but do nothing with it. But when you respond, God gives the ability and something supernatural begins to happen. We're going to take a break and talk about mentoring and adopting and watch these precious children praying for God to give them a family.
My name is Tavius. I'm 17. I like to play basketball and video games. One of my favorite video games is Fortnite and Call of Duty.
What's your favorite Call of Duty?
Cold War. My favorite subject is math. If I could have a superpower, it would be super speed.
And what would you do with that power?
Travel. If I can travel to one place, it'll be Miami, Florida.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
I would change the way sometimes I talk to people.
If you could have one wish, what would you wish for?
Have a good family to live with, so I can stay with a family and don't have to go to placement to placement. I like fun parents to go to football games and fishing, stuff like that. Family is people that love each other and help each other and get them through things that they can't help themselves get through. Adoption is something kids go to whenever they can't go back with their family, so they need to get a new family. Some like people that actually love me and take care of me and stuff. I don't have to go different places, like different group homes and things. I'm nice. I like to play, have fun.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Enrico is with us. Enrico is Jewish, and I am also Jewish. And some people watch and go, what in the world are you talking about? You know, somewhere in the Bible I read this, is that we as Christians should never be so proud and arrogant and forget that we, the wild olive branch, have been grafted in. Isn't that cool? That makes us, when I said earlier, my brother from another mother, I'm actually your brother with the same father. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a matter of debate. There's a lot of this discussion about replacement theology, that the Jews have been kicked out of God's plan and Christians have taken their place. And that is not in the Bible. That's somewhere in somebody's pride and ego, because I very vividly read the scriptures that I believe that the apostle wrote by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, that there is coming a time when all those who are a part of the family of Abraham are going to recognize Messiah. Now, that being said, how do you, as a Jew, me being a follower of Jesus, who I believe is the Messiah, and you're married to a young lady who is, I think,
Southern Baptist.
Yeah, Southern Baptist. So how do you process that? Because you're not the typical guy who was born in a Jewish family walking down the street. You are in a position of responsibility and accountability for this region, and therefore to the nation. How do you process that? Help this preacher.
Well, this is really an incredible question. The way I like to explain this is this. I grew up in Israel, right? In Israel, we don't have a separation of religion and state, right? In order to graduate high school, I had to take Bible class 4 times a week in high school and pass my final Bible exam, right?
Now, when you say Bible, you talking Genesis to Malachi?
I'm talking both Old Testament and New Testament.
Get out of town.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So
you took the Bible course to graduate high school.
And in that sense, Jewish people, and this, again, some Jewish people might disagree with me, but I will argue that you don't have to believe in your heart that Jesus is the Messiah to believe in his teachings, right? Because otherwise, how would you explain that Jewish people in Israel and in the diaspora outside of Israel practice a lot more of Jesus' teachings than they would like to admit, right? Because when people tell me that they don't, I say, well, okay, great. When's the next stoning? Fantastic. Of that person who collected sticks and stones on the Sabbath, I want to come watch, right? The fact is, we turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He who is without sin shall cast the first stone, right?
Not many stones are going to get thrown, are there?
Exactly. Not many stones are thrown, right? And I mean, in that sense, I personally, as a Jewish person, and I know a lot of my Jewish Israeli friends that relate to this as well, we very much lean on the teachings themselves, right?
Well, here's my perspective on that. Jesus, it's recorded in Matthew's gospel, Matthew being a Jew himself, Jesus said this, he said, I didn't come to destroy the law of the prophets, I came to fulfill them. So when I hear you say we follow his teachings, I'm like, well, you know what he taught? He taught the Old Testament as the living revelation of it.
Right, and really the only reasons why Jewish leaders and big great rabbis in history don't technically recognize Jesus as the Messiah, it's because of semantics. It's technical, right? It's God said this and technically he did that, so no, so we don't recognize. It's all just the way I see it is, I don't want to lose sight of the forest for the trees. Does it matter to me as a person that wants to live a full and good life, that wants to have a personal relationship with my Creator and God? Really does not matter to me as much as the teachings themselves.
Okay, I got a big question now. I warned you I was going to do this. So as a Jew, how See, I believe 1 John 1:9, if you confess your sins, He's faithful and just to forgive you. As a Jew, I understand atonement. How do you deal with forgiveness of sin, since you're not necessarily practicing lamb sacrifice? How do you deal with that?
I can tell you that I have a very, very, very deep conversation with God every day.
Yeah.
In Judaism, when people wake up in the morning, they wrap the tefillin on, right? I kind of do the same, just without the actual wrapping of the tefillin. I actually left my tefillin at my dad's house in Israel, so it's still there. But we practice gratitude. We practice listening, right? The only reason why I'm even here in Arkansas is because I had to do a lot of listening, and I constantly do it. I make it a point to actively listen to what God wants from me, right? This higher calling, this purpose, like, hey, what am I supposed to do here? Are you telling me something? Like, am I supposed to do this? And when you listen, really, really hard, when you actively listen, something wonderful happens. Because suddenly faith just takes over, and all the things that are supposed to happen.
Yeah, well, we got a cry of an entire generation. College campuses, high school campuses, churches are filling up with young people because they're hungry for truth, for revelation, purpose. And that when you get up in the morning, you say, I got to be here for a purpose. What is my purpose? So I'm fascinated to be in relationship with you, because I want to have a better understanding of how this Jesus, who gloriously forgave me and has called me to my purpose. And I know how listless my life was and how He has brought clarity into my life. So we have 1 minute and 20 seconds here. What do you want to say to the state of Arkansas and then around the world through the internet?
I think when you're focused on the message itself, you look at the forest and not the trees. You see the mission, you see the bigger picture, you see the divinity in everything you do. And that's how my wife and I, we can go to a Passover Seder, and we can also go to a Resurrection Sunday, and we can also go to church with her parents on Father's Day and Mother's Day and celebrate Rosh Hashanah, right? It's a beautiful harmony. And when you focus on the togetherness, when you focus on what brings us together and the message itself, right, you truly, truly, truly find positivity and shared values and togetherness. And in Israel, we understand one very important thing. There is positivity and divinity in everything. And when you choose to see that, when you choose to truly focus on what brings us together, you realize that together is the only way forward.
And when you focus on Him, He helps you understand them. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned with Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Watch us every week. Share this message and share with your friends how we can change the world one heart, one life at a time. God bless you. See you next week.